Hey guys, welcome to another costume video, and today it's going to be Freddy versus Jason costume. And we'll start with the mask first. I've got one of these masks off of Fierce City Creations. Like it's one of those ones cast from the screen use mold. Alright, so we'll start now with drilling the holes out. So I'll just use a pilot hole just to drill a little hole through before I use a 10mm drill bit, and we'll make those holes fully drilled out then, the correct size. Alright, so I've just drilled little pilot holes through to start off with. I've finished the pilot holes. Now we're just going to use the 10mm bit to finish it. Alright, so that's the size of the holes there. I've drilled out all the holes, the larger 10mm holes. So what we have left now, the nose hole, which is slightly smaller, and these ones here, which is slightly smaller, and the holes where we attach the straps to with rivets. So I'm just using a, what size is this? This is a 1964 size drill bit, just for the side holes here. And as you can see, that's what I'm just using photos from the screen use mask, so they're a little bit smaller. And for the rivets, I'm just gonna, these are the rivets the same size basically as what I think they used in the movie, so I'll just use the same size drill bit for those holes. All right, now for the rivet holes. Alright, so we've got a good fit here. So that was, what size was that? That was a 3/16 bit, that was. So we'll do the rest of the strap holes now. Alright, we've just got our eye holes left to drill out. I've just done a pilot hole, so we'll drill those out with a drill and just finish them off with the Dremel. We finished the eye holes. We're just going to start marking out some areas of damage on the mask where the holes in that are. Like around here, you can see the sort of grooves cut out of the mask in the holes. So we'll just go through and try and get as many as we can. Alright, I'll switch to the Dremel. This filing has taken too long, so I think this will be a bit quicker. Oh, God almighty, what's going on with this thing? That doesn't sound too good. What the hell? I think this thing's about to die on me. You can hear that. I think she's about to blow up. God, unbelievable. Yeah, that's it. I think she's no good. So I won't be doing... Alright, I'm going to have to buy another one, I think, and come back to this. Alright, that's it for today. Alright, we're back in business. Next day now, and I just bought a new rotary tool. We've finished doing all the damage to the holes. Yeah, you're not really going to get them perfect because they used a few different masks for the movie, and the damage to the mask is really inconsistent. So just do as best as you can. Now we're just going to sand it all. We're just going to give it a coat of primer now. We finished our primer coat. Alright, I'm just going to paint the back of it black. I'm not going to spray it. I'm just going to do it with a rag, just so I don't get black all over the front of it. Because when you spray the back of it, it just goes everywhere. So it's just easier to wipe it on. Finished painting the back of it black. Now we'll paint the front of it. I'm just using Krylon almond colour. We finished the couple of coats that we did of the almond spray paint. Now we'll just put on the chevrons. So I'm just going to put this on here, trace around it, and then I'll mask it up and paint it. We're just going to paint the chevrons now. I'm using Rust-Oleum Gloss Apple Red. I'm just going to use a sponge. I've just sprayed some paint into a cup and just going to dab the sponge into it. Okay, the red paint has now dried and we're going to start doing a bit of a brown wash on the mask just to make it appear a bit more dirty. I'm using raw umber, just mixed in with some water, We'll just do a few light washes with that. I mean, there are a few different Jason looks in Freddy versus Jason, so I'm just going to go with this one here, the sort of dirtier look. Also did a wash with the burnt umber, so just a bit of both, and now I'm just going to do some of the holes just where I've got the damage, because with the cloth it's just not getting in to the little damaged areas. I'm just going to keep going over it a few more coats with the burnt umber. So what we're doing now is just going around the more worn out pieces and the dirtier areas from the photos, just to make them a little bit darker. So I've just started using raw umber, which is a little bit dark. So we'll just use the raw umber and do around the strap holes, places like that. So around that area there, around the straps there. So just gradually make it a little bit more dirty around those areas. So now what I'm going to do is go around the inside of the vent holes just to make them darker, just with a little cotton tip. We've finished the painting now. This is about as good as I can get it, I think. I mean, it's if you look at all the photos from the movie, the mask changed so much, it's hard to get exactly right. You sort of just got to pick one scene and go for it. So at the start of the video, I said I started off using raw umber. Well, I actually switched to burnt umber because the raw umber was a little bit too dark. So I switched to burnt umber and did about 5 coats. And then for the darker spots here, I used raw umber but mixed a bit of black with it. So then just dabbed those on. So what we'll do now is spray some clear coat on it. We're ready to put the clear coat on now. We're just using Dulux spray clear and it's flat. The clear coat's all finished. Now I'm just going to put these little felt pads on the inside just to stop the mask rubbing against the latex mask. I don't want to damage the paint on the latex mask. So these are just like these little felt pads here. So I'm just going to stick a few inside the mask here. Now it's time to make the straps. So for the straps, I'm just going to use a couple of belts that I bought from Kmart, like $2 or $3 each, not much. And it's got one of these metal rings from the hardware store. Some of these buckles from Temu. We've got some washers and the rivets. Alright, let's start painting these to weather them up a bit. Just using some brown paint, just enamel. Just spray on the metal pieces. Rub it around. The brown's all dried, so I'm just going to spray a little bit of black on the rings and buckles as well to make it look a bit more aged. Alright, for the straps, I'm just using some photos online that I found of the actual movie masks and the straps, just from like a prop store. So we're just going to start trying to cut these to size. Now on this side here, it's basically the same width as what the washer is. So we'll just get a washer and just mark it about the same. Alright, I've cut the leather strap down. I've just tapered it towards the end there. That's how it is on the strap in the photo. So I'm just going to put a few more holes in here as well. The same as it's got in here. Alright, I've managed to figure out the strapping method. So it's like that. Ring goes around the back. Now what I'm going to do is just hold everything together just with a bit of tape or something until I get everything measured out, and then I'll finally attach everything properly. So that's basically how it goes. We've got our straps made. They're not actually joined with the rivets yet, so I've just taped them up just to get the right sizing. So this one goes over the top, around the side, and then this one the other side. So I've got the sizing pretty much right now. So we'll start using the rivets just to join everything together. I'm just going to make the holes for the rivets now. Just put the rivet through like that. Only needs a little bit out the end. If you use too much when you put the other piece on, it'll just bend and won't seal right. So just enough to put the cap piece on. Just use one of these. There we go. All right, I'm just going to put another one here. We've finished putting the straps together. All the rivets are in. So I'm just going to weather it a bit now, fray the edges a bit and put a bit of brown paint on the edges there. As I've seen in the movie photos, it's all pretty weathered heavily, all sort of fraying on the edges and browned up. So we'll start that now. All the edges have been roughed up and frayed. Now we're just going to add some dark brown paint to the edges. I'm just using leather acrylic paint. I guess you can use normal acrylic paint. I've just got this on hand already though. I've finished all the straps. It's all been roughed up on the edges, painted brown on the edges. So next step is got some washers and some rivets. We're just going to paint those black and then sand the edges off, weather them up a bit. So the washers are M6 size. We've got some 3/16 rivets. I think that's about the right size. All the washers and pop rivets have now been painted black. So I'm just going to sand the edges of the washers, and when I put the pop rivets on the mask, I'll just sand the inside of that there, or the outside of it. We finished sanding the washers now, so we're just going to attach everything. Just swing the washer behind so it doesn't walk through. Alright, first one done. We've got all our straps riveted on now. Now, behind it, what I'm going to do, where the rivet goes behind it here, I'm just going to put another felt pad over it, so I'll just drill a hole through there so it fits over here, just so it doesn't scratch or mark the latex mask. Alright, so we just got that placed over the back of the rivet there. I've already done the others, so that'll just protect the mask. Alright, so here's what the mask looks like on the latex hood. We're up to the clothing part of the costume now, and we're going to start with the blue sweatshirt. In the movie, there's only a little bit of damage just at the top here, so we'll just mark out what we can find on the photos and just cut those. Basically it. It was a quick one. So we'll grab some sandpaper, rough the edges up, and it's done. Now we're just going to do the grey sweatshirt. So we'll just mark out with a pencil where all the marks should be going. We've marked out most of the damage, so we're just going to start cutting. We're just going to start the pants now. I've just got some black sweatpants. There's not a real lot of images on the internet of what damage is in the pants, so I'm just going to just do random marks and cuts. The one I can see, there is a big cut on the side of the leg here. And I've just cut the ends of the bands off as well, so we'll just do that. We finished the weathering, putting the holes in. Now we're up to the brown jacket or brown coat. And so I just picked this one up at the thrift store. It looks pretty good. So we'll start putting the damage on that now. I only paid like $5 or something for it, so it's pretty good. Now the photos I'm using are just off the website where they have the screen used items, so it'll show most of the damage. Get it close enough. We finished weathering the jacket. We've still got to paint it, but so far we've just put all the holes and damage to it. It's shredded up really well. Got a lot of threads hanging from it, which looks good. We're going to start painting things up now with the clothing. First I'm going to start with the grey sweatshirt. Like the one I've got is a really light colour, so I'm just going to soak it in some dark grey acrylic paint and water solution, just to sort of try and match the colour there. So that's way too light, so we're just going to soak it in that. Alright, we'll let that soak for a few hours. We've finished soaking our grey sweatshirt. Now it's a better colour now, more like the photos. So now what we'll do is get some black paint mixed with water and just start painting some of the pieces of clothing. Just going to dab some paint around the edges of these cuts here. We've finished the sweater. So I'm going to move on to the jacket now. The jacket's completed. Turned out pretty good. Happy with it. We're just going to dirty up the trousers a bit, just with some brown acrylic paint. We're up to the gloves now. I've just got a pair of these black gauntlet gloves from Amazon. So we're just going to use some sandpaper just to wear them out a bit, make a few cuts in them, just, yeah, grunge them up. Now the photo I'm using is just a photo from the screen used pair of gloves I found online. We finished the gloves. Now we're just up to making the machete now, and I've just gone online and got the dimensions and printed out a template of the actual machete. This one is 62 centimeters. They use two different sizes in the movie, one 76 and one 62. The 62 centimeter one they used in certain scenes to make Jason appear larger. So I'm just going to do the 62 centimeter one. And I may do the 76 one later. So we're just going to use the template here. We're going to trace around this on some hardwood. It's probably better to use some plywood, but I don't have any plywood on me at the moment. So we'll just make it work with the hardwood we've got here. So I'm just going to trace around the template. I'll cut the timber out, then I'll go back later and put the handguard on, because I can't really cut around the handguard without it getting broken or knocked off because of the way the grain of the timber is. It's just going to snap off if it gets bumped or knocked. So I'm going to have to put a separate handguard on it. Alright, we've got the basic shape. Now I'm just going to plane down the blade to make it a bit thinner. We've got the general shape cut out now to a slimmer thickness. So now we're just going to do the handguard. So I'm just going to cut out lengthways along the grain of the timber so it doesn't snap when it's on the actual machete. The shape of the handguard. I've just used a bit of cardboard just to trace and get the correct shape. We've cut those in half. Now we're just going to notch out the inside. So I've put the grooves in. So they'll just go like this. So they'll just join on there. I'll glue this together and put a bit of filler just in the seam there, sand it up, and you shouldn't notice that it's been joined at all. So, alright, let's start gluing all this together now. It's all been glued together now. So I've just sanded it up a bit as well. So what we'll do now is put a bit of undercoat on it and then start painting it up. We've finished undercoating with the primer. Now we're just going to use some gloss aluminium. We've finished painting the aluminium. Now we're just going to put a bit of black on it. We've finished putting the black on it. Now I'm just going to put some silver around the edge of the blade there. We've finished putting the silver or the aluminium on the edge of the blade. So what we'll do now is just tape it off and do the handle a dark brown. handle's all been painted. So I'm just going to give it a spray of sealer. And then after that, we'll wrap the handle in the sports tape. We finished putting the clear coat on now. And now we're just going to put the tape on the handle. We've got the tape finished now. Now we're just going to dirty it up a bit. Just using some black acrylic paint on a rag. Alright, so I think that's about done. Now the last part of the costume are the boots, and I'm just using these work boots I've got. Just the same ones I used last year for the part 7 and the year before for Michael Myers. So I know in the movie they used big platform shoes, but I don't really want to be walking around on big platforms, so these will do. It's pretty dirty and roughed up anyway. So these are pretty much my boots for all costumes. Hi everyone, I just wanted to thank everyone for watching the video. I hope it was in some way helpful. This one was fairly fun to do, a fair bit easier than the part 7 from the last video. No silicone stuffing around with all that, so this one turned out alright. The costume didn't cost a great deal. I'll put some shots on the screen of how much it cost. Got most of the stuff from the thrift stores and Temu. Came up with a few things, so that was okay. If you want to leave in the comments of what you'd like to see me do next, any costume ideas or whatnot, just leave it in there. So thanks again, and the next few scenes you'll see me dressed in the costume and see the final product. So stay tuned for more costume videos in the future and any other type of video that I can think to do. So all right, thanks a lot, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.